I think people first, there's a concept called presence to contribution that I think is the process that the People First members went through. First of all, they had to achieve a presence in their community. That means they needed to get some sort of community recognition or awareness that they existed in the community. And from that, they felt privileged to make a contribution. And I saw that really growing in people, and I saw that happening as a result of contributions that were made, like the ones I mentioned earlier, where people made donations. Sam Blakesley helped them get, one of their ideas passed into law. So they received a certain amount of esteem in the community for that. People made contributions. They were able to amass a fairly sizable treasury, so they could actually make contributions to causes in the community. So they moved from having a presence there to making a contribution there. And I think it mirrored just their self-esteem as individuals and as a group.
Thinking of the ones we've left at home, discovering new meaning through a phone.
As the city of SLO has met the needs of the disabled community, People First of SLO has looked for and found many ways to give back.
They've not only learned how they can change their own lives, but they're looking around and they're making donations and putting time into helping other people. And to me, that is the greatest growth and sign that they're saying, hey, we're part of the community, and we're not here just to take help from you. We're here to help other people as well.
Creating jobs, acts of service, educating the public, finding things that need fixing, and just getting involved.
Years ago, we had crews of people. I remember when the farmers market started in San Luis on Thursday nights, there was a crew of people. Ray Castro was one of those people, and they had a job, and their job was to, at the end of farmers market, they'd swoop in a squadron of guys in their wheelchairs, and they cleaned up after farmers market. So those guys were at farmers market every single Thursday because it was a whole bunch of fun, and then they were already at work, so then they just did their work afterwards. One year they had the job of painting all the parking meter poles. Of course, at wheelchair height, they were right there at the right level. So that was pretty good way to get to know people in the community too. And people are just, I think, happy to incorporate them. It's that kind of a place.
People First has, they've done things to educate our members of our community, specifically local government, whether it had to do with accessibility of roads and sidewalks, to helping, I recall, a project back in I think it was in the 90s, when they were helping city planners as they were developing affordable housing and making sure that they were getting users involved in their accessibility plans for apartments.
By working side by side with the city of SLO, People First advocates and supporters became true members of the community. In the beginning, the group worked on things that directly affected the members of the group. If someone had a problem, they worked together to fix it. They joined the transportation board, they met with city planners about accessible housing, putting the right lifts on buses, safety of the roads and accessibility to the sidewalks, every need addressed.
I'm part of the transportation meeting that quarterly, and the thing we do is we try to make the routes more easier for people and make sure the lift works on the buses. But now they got buses that hold 2 wheelchairs. When I started taking the buses, I only had 1 wheelchair seating. Now they have 2.
But locally, one of their big projects has been working with the city on improving accessibility. particularly curb cuts, ways for people to get around in their wheelchairs.
Depending on if it's the budget or if it's services or if it's curb cuts, whatever. Usually things that end up helping people with disabilities end up helping everybody.
Many members of the People First of SLO had to take the same route from meetings to their bus stops or their homes.
One of the first things I really remember them doing was over here on Orchid Road, there's a railroad crossing. And I grew up here, and this is always a 2-lane road, and crossing that railroad tracks, you had to pretty much get into traffic to cross just along the street. And a couple of the people that attend the program, like Ray, he uses that road to go over to the bus stop because he uses the local buses. And it was just dangerous.
I had to go out the bike lane, and it was dangerous at that time because cars would come down the street real fast.
The group took command of the situation. Letters were written and phone calls were made.
This advocacy group was writing letters and getting on the different local government boards. And like Ray, he's now part of the transportation, one of the advisory committees. But they wrote letters and about this particular issue, and it was like, oh, well, it's the railroad's responsibility. Oh, it's the city's responsibility, and they went back and forth. But the city ended up, I think, paying to just put a little blacktop sidewalk around the other side of the arms that came down, and it helped again everybody walking along. It was scary walking right next to traffic, and it's because of this group that particular crossing was fixed. And again, they were putting it off because now it's a 4-lane road, and they knew this was coming. But it took 5 years, and in that intervening 5 years, the crossing was much safer for everybody.
One of the most personal ways the group gives back is by honoring the memory of Robert Bove, a beloved advisor and supporter of People First. One of the goals of People First of SLO is to be involved in our community by giving back through the Robert Bove Community Service Project.
But he was a very dedicated man to People First and other people with disabilities, and he always, I remember he always did everything with such a smile on his face.
Just in a way that you could feel. I mean, it was kind of like he was always suppressing a laugh. No matter what happened, he was just kind of trying to hold back to keep from laughing. And it was infectious. When you were around him, you had a good time. He had that expansive love of life that just is, you can feel it.
Robert and I and he took me in with him to feed horses, and me and Billy went up there and we went to Santa Maria and we fed horses.
Every December, People First puts on the Robert Bove Community Dance, and that is in memory of Robert Bove. The People First of SLO uses their own money to throw the dance. There's refreshments and dancing, and there's a $5 to $10 admission fee for people who want to come, and then all the proceeds from the dance go to a local nonprofit. So in the past couple years, we've donated to Get on the Bus, which is children on Christmas and holidays can go and see their fathers in prison. We did Hats for Hope this last year. It's a nonprofit for women who have lost their hair from cancer, and we raised enough money for 5 wigs. And then, or they did. And then also AIDS Network, Slow Hep C, Maxine, Homeless Shelter. Those are just some from the past.
Another goal of the People First of SLO is to educate the public about the abilities and the needs of all people. In 2005, People First released a Credo for Support video.
The Credo for Support was written in 1995 by Norman Kuntz and Emma Vanderclef
that explains in their own words, step by step, how the disabled community would like to be worked with.
When the Credo of Support was released, People First of SLO Obispo saw it and immediately wanted to make it their own. So we decided to make our own video from their words.
Norman actually bought the rights to the video to use in presentations, but let People First retain the rights to the video for educational purposes.
In 2013, the group released the Sexual Bill of Rights video explaining the sexual hopes, desires, and rights of the disabled community.
Just recently we did a video for about a sexual rights video.
We want to get them distributed throughout California among people we kind of know. We're going to give one to Area Board 9, and then hopefully that will be used as a training video for staff, participants, and hopefully parents too who have a child or adult with a developmental disability.
People First has created a large presence in their community. Rather than seeking to simply create what they need, they have chosen to find problems and create solutions for the common good of all people.
I've seen everything you've done, and I've dreamed to be what you've become. I've seen everything you've done.
Music for today's episode is brought to you by Nothing Ever Stays. If you'd like to learn more, please visit us at peoplefirstslo.org.